Well, where is makeup? Hey, it's 9 o'clock every morning. How difficult can it be to arrive on? I can't go on air looking like this. Look at me. Oh, I don't believe this. It's just ridiculous. It's 9 o'clock and it's a Saturday morning. Woohoo! It's time for the Monster Magic Saturday Show. Let's do this.
Wake up, it's a beautiful morning. Feel the sun shining for your eyes.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Good morning, everybody. I do hope you are well. We've had a brief gap in the heat wave, but fingers crossed is going to be back for this weekend. And before I go any further, I must say a massive congratulations to Steve and Natalia, who got married last week. They're a lovely couple, and I wish them all of the best and all of their happiness in the world. And I must also apologise to Rachel and David Adamson. David had his 60th birthday a couple of weeks ago, and I forgot to mention it. Happy birthday, David, for 2 weeks ago. Sorry. I hope you had a wonderful day. But right, come on, let's get started. And first up, we have Diget Spinner by Tim Starr and John Stahl. Is this a magic trick? I don't know, but it is a hell of a hoot to play with. The idea is that you can spin virtually anything on the end of your finger for an almost interminable amount of time, and then carry on using it. Whether you do it with a playing card or a credit card or a phone, it is entirely up to you. I have only been doing it with a credit card quite addictively. I wasn't actually going to be reviewing this week, so I haven't had much time with it, but honest, it is like a fidget spinner. It is pretty addictive thing to play with, and a fun everyday carry for sure. It's not really magic, but it can add a little bit to your magic routine if you like. If you want to start off spinning your card box, or for me, it is simply something I'm going to carry around so that I can spin my credit card whilst paying for a coffee or something like that. And it's just a really great display of a faux skill or party trick. The gimmick itself is deceptively simple, very small, but brilliantly engineered. It works an absolute treat. I can only imagine there's been a lot of trial and error, but they've absolutely nailed it. There are other methods for spinning things around. Revolution by Gregory Wilson, that came out a few years ago now, also rings a bell, but that's for spinning a deck of cards. This gimmick is more advanced than that, shall we say, and also a lot more versatile. You can do it impromptu. You can also do it pre-set up, and I mentioned being pre-set up because what you get here is, I'm not going to show you the actual gimmick itself because I don't, that's just sort of giving it away, but you get this, and this means you can center your gimmick onto a credit card, a photo ID, a loyalty card, anything like that. It's pretty much universal to fit in there, and it just enables you to get it dead center, and that will really help you spin. Obviously, if you're doing it with a playing card, you can tell where to attach it because of the sign on the back. There's usually something to indicate it's the middle, certainly bicycle cars and tally-ho and so on. There is. Doing it impromptu with a phone might be a little bit harder, so I'm not sure I'd attempt to do it with a borrowed phone because you don't want that spinning off your finger, but I would certainly set it up on my phone. The tutorial is by Tim and John, and it is a whopping 40 minutes long, which is great because they run through the knack of it. There is a knack of it, and Tim really does explain how to do it. It's up to you where on your finger you do it, which finger you use, and so on. I've been doing it on the wrong finger, I've realised, but it's worked fine. Let me just try it on the longer finger. Hang on a second. You know what? If you use the finger that Tim suggests, it's actually a lot easier. And you can then use your card to make your payment as normal. It's a lot of fun. Tim's handling of the gimmick is incredible. I haven't tried all of the things he shows, but you can actually add it and remove it under your audience's nose if you wish. But that'll take a little bit of practice. It's not difficult from what I can gather. It's just a little bit of a knack and some practice that you can do in front of the TV. I mean, I really like it. I've been absolutely obsessed with it ever since I opened it. I love it as a fun thing. Not sure it's terribly magical, but like I said, I'm very pleased that I've opened it as late as I had. Otherwise, I don't think I would have got around to making this video. You will certainly enjoy getting better and better at it, throwing it down onto the table and continuing spinning and so on. There are some quite advanced things you can do. Tim shows a nice thing where he flips it off and catches it into his other hand. So you can add extra flourishes as well. You get a lot of spares too. I haven't had to use a spare yet. I think it's probably going to stay where it is for quite a long time, to be honest, but only if you want to keep changing it from one thing to another. You can keep reusing the same sticky stuff that you use. The one issue I have is the price, really. Despite the fact I think everything that you get is incredibly good. I just wish, because it is just a little bit of a fake skill, it was a little bit cheaper. But to be honest, it has given me a lot of joy so far. There you go. That is Diget Spinner by Tim Starr, John Stahl, £38.50. Next up, we have Blow Hard by Ryan Plunkett. This immediately took my fancy. The idea is that you've got one of those little pipes that you can blow, and a little plastic ball will float in the air. You then take the plastic ball, drop it, and it is clearly an incredibly heavy steel ball. You then pick the steel ball off the floor and crack it, and it is in fact an egg. What a wonderful, wonderful routine. It is obviously for parlour or for stage, but it's got everything for me. It is comedy, it is funny. Just blowing the ball on the pipe is a comical look. And people will just be going, what on earth is this man doing? When you drop it on the floor and it hits the floor, it makes a really big audible noise. There is no doubt. You don't have to explain that it's heavy. You don't have to say what it is. It is like a big lump of lead hitting the floor. You might want to ask the stage manager if it's all right to drop it, first of all. And that is terrific. It tells the audience everything they need to know. You've either got a superhuman breath or eaten a lot of garlic or something, or some magic has happened and that ball has transformed. And then when you pick it up and crack it into the glass and it's an egg, they never, ever going to see that coming. And also, you've just dropped this on the floor and it's made a really loud noise. And now you've just demonstrated that it's something very, very fragile. I love all of that that's going on. It is also pretty easy to do. One caveat, because it is a parlour routine, you will need a bag or a box or a hat or something to get the glass out of, and also for the final load of the egg. Otherwise, everything is pretty much self-contained, and it comes in one of the best bits of packaging I've ever seen. So this is lovely. Here, there you go. You get a wonderful receipt that explains the blowhard instructions. That is a very nice touch. I like that. And then in here you get the actual thing. This is the heavy ball. I can't tell you just how heavy. It is really heavy. It is there you go. It's designed to look, we've even got a little fake seam around it. It is designed to look just like the light ball, and it is, I mean, I'm not going to drop it off. I don't want to damage my laminate flooring because it was quite cheap flooring. So don't know what's going to happen, but there you go. It is very, very heavy indeed. It's going to drop like a lead weight. And then in here you have the box, and here's the box that the game comes in, and you take the toy out of this box. This box is gimmicked, simply gimmicked, but perfectly gimmicked to help you with the load and the switching. Very, very clever, and it enables you to show your both hands completely empty pretty much, or be having it in the sort of Ramsey subtlety. So the box plays a nice integral part of it, and it's a natural thing to have on stage with you when you get it out. Here is the pipe itself, a nice traditional, very simple toy, and here is the ping pong ball. I'm going to call it because it's very, and that's the thing. So you say they look very similar, slightly bigger, but nothing anyone is going to notice. Obviously, do use a white egg when you're doing the other switch out, and it's just wonderful fun. Even this bit's fun. And you also get a little something extra that helps with one of the switches. Everything in the routine is completely motivated, whether it's just putting the pipe away, getting the glass out, bending down to pick up the egg. Everything works. An absolute treat. And because no one sees anything coming, there is just no way that they're ever going to think that you're doing what you're doing anyway, really. It's one of those things that people always tell me that when someone brings out a pack of cards, they know they're going to find their card. When you bring this out, they've got no idea what is happening. They're going to be enthralled, entertained, and just taken along this path of wonder. I absolutely love it. It is good, strong magic with a beautiful comedic touch and a great ending. The tutorial is by Ryan, and it's just shy of 10 minutes, but it tells you everything you need to know. It is a very simple routine, but there's also a nice bit at the end where he does the performance, and it's captioned, so he tells you exactly what he's doing at each moment. Pretty faultless, I would say. If you've got 5 minutes for a little bit of comedy in your parlour or stage show, I would highly, highly recommend it. That is Blowhard by Ryan Plunkett, £51, 50p. Next up, it's Max Shot by Sinbad Max. That is almost certainly not his real name. This I picked up at Blackpool. I had a few a while ago, sold out very quickly. They've now come back in, and it's time to review it. I was astonished by this at Blackpool. If you go back and see my Blackpool walk around, I sit down with Sinbad and he performs it. It's absolutely great. The idea is that you can produce a full shot glass of whiskey from behind a napkin or a handkerchief, or you can produce a glass from a scrumpled up handkerchief and then have it filled with whiskey, or you can just do a vanish or an appearance from a napkin. It's entirely up to you. It is really quite versatile like that, and there are some bonus routines that I'll get into, but what you receive is just complete and close to perfection. It's made in conjunction with Oichu Magic. They're close with Henry Harrius and things like that. It's just great. The quality is just great. You might know Oichu Magic from the Tornado bottle that is also back in stock. Here you get a nice white gentleman's handkerchief and a napkin to get you started. Very, very nice to have included the napkin. And then you get the load. Now, producing a bottle of whiskey, sometimes it's done with a ball, sometimes it's done with a cork, sometimes it's done with a cap. And what Sinbad emphasises is that often you need to have a gap at the top whereas he thinks it is much more powerful. I think he's got a point to have it filled to the very brim, because that way it's obvious that you can't have just had it in your hand and not spilt it. And I think that is probably true. It probably is stronger for all of that. I could probably show you this bit because I think it's shown in the product details. So this is a clip on cap. This is the cap here. This is the real shot glass, and this will hook so that it's at the top of your pocket, top of your breast pocket. It's just something nice to hold it into. Obviously it folds down flat when you have taken it out, so it's easy to hide. You can also use it to hold it cleanly between the napkin as well when you're back. This is all taught on a very, very clear tutorial by Sinbad. Lots of angles, lots of close-ups. He runs through lots of things, very, very great detail, especially with the hand positions and how to take the lid off and so on. And there you go. It just pops off as easy as that. It takes a bit of practice to get it to come off quietly. But that is locked on there so firmly, and it is just a little gentle bit to get it off. And it's great. There is a bonus tutorial by Daniel Hugh, I think I'm saying that right, and he runs through his handling. He doesn't bother with this. He just has the normal cap that you also get. So this is the normal cap. It just comes without the hook. And the best thing about this is that it's not actually a glass, it is silicon. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, this is what astonished me, quite frankly. So there you go, next to each other. They're identical, they really are. That is brilliant. And this obviously enables you to produce it as Sinbad tells you, you can produce it from a closed book. He comes with very other productions and other routines rather than the basic ones. So it starts off with a simple production of a full shot of whiskey. He then runs through a two-phase production where you produce the glass and then you produce the full shot of whiskey. And then he runs through other ideas that are really just based on producing the shot. So there's the number prediction, which is based on Bottle Rocket by Handsome Jack in Handsome Jack book back in 2019, I believe. Sorry, 2016. And there's also a little take on a Russian roulette idea, which will require you having two of these glasses, similar to Scott Alexander's Shattered, which is genuinely based actually on a trick published by Patrick Cuffs a few years before Scott Alexander released Shattered. So I am crediting Patrick with that because it is an absolute wonderful idea. You also get a little card trick called the Bet, where basically your participant loses the bet, so you then have to produce the shot of whiskey as their punishment. Punishment, I say. Maybe they're won after all. I can't hide my enthusiasm for this, but the best thing is if you look at Daniel's bonus section, he has this just floating around in his pocket all night, waiting to do it as a casual performance piece. And I think that is a wonderful idea, especially if someone asks you to do a trick impromptu. Producing a shot glass of whiskey, provided you're in a bar or a place where it's appropriate, is just an unexpected thing to happen. And that's it, really. Basically, for a shot glass production, it's hard to beat. Everything you get is better than you'd expect. That is Max Shot by Sinbad Max, 64.99. Next up is Optix Pro by Tobias Dostal and Henry Harrius. Wow. The original Optix came out, I think, in 2019. It was a big hit then. It has now just got that little bit better, and I think it benefits a lot from improvements in technology. So the effect is that you borrow someone's phone and you turn the light on. You then ask them to film you using your phone, which they do. You then vanish their phone, say you are going to make it reappear, and eventually they will notice that they are actually holding their phone, and they have been filming you vanishing their phone on their phone, which is just a brilliant full circle, mind-boggling event, really. And they've got it all nicely filmed. What a brilliant plot that is. The gimmick has been improved, like I say, because technology has moved on. So it's now got USB-C charging. The battery life is much better, and the batteries have all improved over the years, so you're not going to worry about that failing and not charging. There are charging indicators and things like that all over it. The switches are brilliant. You can actually change the way the light works, whether you want it to just flash or go on and off, or stay on. That's up to you as well. It's really, really good. The other thing is there are now 2 different setups. So you have Henry Harrius's setup, which leaves you completely clean. It does, I'm going to reveal this bit, use a pull that you get in here. Let me show you. You get a lot of stuff. You get a lot of spares in here. So you get the USB-C charging cable, but you've probably got one of those for a phone or a speaker or something that you use. So this is the reel. It's not the biggest, flashiest, most expensive reel in the world. I will say that. It's also not the quietest. That's because it's got a fair bit of tension on it for a very, very speedy retraction. But under your jacket, that really does muffle that noise pretty well. And as long as you're not doing it in a church or, you know, a library, you'll be absolutely fine with general atmospheric noise. Also, with the vanish, you're usually clapping your hands or making, you know, a gesture which disguises the noise as well. So it'll be lost under your clap or your slap, depending on which vanish you want to do. But it is a very durable, very simple device. It is all you need. And I love this new bit, really. For me, it's much easier to set up. You end completely clean with empty hands. There are less angle issues and so on than there were with the original handling. Not having said that, the original handling does have some advantages. With the reel, obviously, you're going to be wanting to wear a jacket. That's just the way it is. Switching it on and off and how to get the gimmick into play. I'm not going to show you the gimmick. I think that's just giving the game away too much. Is really, really well taught by both Henry and Tobias. They go into great details of how to get it into place, the great details of how to do the steal, how to bring the phone out of your pocket. Every part of the routine is taught with incredible clarity. You can tell that both of them have been using this for a very long time, at least a couple of years. Obviously, you might be wondering, if you borrow a phone, what are those limitations? The design of the gimmick really is meant to match a sort of an iPhone, really, from sort of iPhone 13 up to the latest one, I believe. I'm not a gadget freak, and I don't actually have an iPhone, but when you turn that light on, it's quite blinding. Don't do it in broad daylight, I will say that, but if you're doing it indoors, when you turn the light on your phone, it's very hard to distinguish exactly what you're looking at, and that is one of the brilliant pieces of this. So as long as your phone doesn't have, I mean, Tobias apparently has been doing it with all manner of phones. I wouldn't worry about whether it was a Samsung or an Apple or anything like that. I would go for something that, as long as it didn't have a case on it, I've got a bright yellow case on a phone, so that wouldn't be very good. But usually you'll be absolutely fine with most phones in most situations. You can always ask more than one person to get out a phone and just pick the most suitable one. Henry's routine is surprisingly easy and got a massive impact for what you have to do. It does have the advantage. The light honestly covers pretty much any suspicious moves really, really well. Plus, of course, no one knows that their phone is about to vanish. Then you have Tobias's more original routine, which is sort of involves the bit more of a setup to get the gimmick quite right and to get it right for your hands. And it sort of uses the old loop ball method. That's great if you haven't got a jacket on, but otherwise I think I will probably just be using Henry's. Tobias does run through some fun routines though, some sort of swipe vanishes, if they to be scrolling through their phone when it vanishes, pretend to be taking their picture when it vanishes, or even vanishing the phone and just having an apple in your hand, which is pretty funny. And the box comes nicely packed with spares and everything you need for both setups. It's a complete, lovely, brilliant piece of kit. What can I say? Vanishing a borrowed phone in itself is an incredible effect. To have the revelation that they are now actually holding their phone is just incredible. It's wonderful. I really wish, I've realised now I just haven't got enough in. But there you go. That is Optix Pro by Tobias Dostal, Henry Harrius, $79.99. And finally, we have Sharpen by Alain Vachron. Here you show that you've got a Sharpie with a black cap, and then the cap turns red, and then it can turn black again, and you can do this ad infinitum in various ways. Do you know what? This is beginning to grow on me. It's a really missed opportunity in my book to produce something that is a lot better. The gimmicks that I can't actually show you because that will give the game away are surprisingly simple, not what I was expecting at all, and work really well. It is very enjoyable to play with. It's very easy to do. To do the switching is very easy. The problem I've got with this is the tutorial. The tutorial is only a little bit over 2 minutes long, and there's no speaking. It's just the point of view of behind. It shows a little quick change of the caps, and then there's a shot of how you do it from behind, and that's all you get. I mean, it's very useful for universal languages, I guess, but it just misses some nuances, some fun. Really, they sort of try to tell you what the routine is with these sort of blank screens, a bit like an old-fashioned black and white film going, ask someone this and then do this. It's just a shame that tutorial isn't better. There's a lot that can be going on here. There is a wonderful routine that's described where you have two Sharpies, one with a red cap, one with a black cap. You put the one with the black cap in your pocket. You then ask them which one's got in your pocket. They say the black one. You show that you've still got the black one in your hand, and then you're left with the real Sharpie. There is a full routine possible with this. I think stick this in, dare I say, Craig Petty's hands, or Matthew Wright's, or perhaps even mine. Someone like Roddy, you'd have some wonderful routines of a back and forth with these color changes, and that tutorial just doesn't give you that, nor do you get some nice live performances or anything like that. I think this gimmick is surprisingly simple. I think it's good. I'm itching for it to be given its full value with the teaching. Instead, you've really got a blank page with which to play with. I think, I have been playing with it, and it is very fooling. It's surprisingly easy to do. You look surprisingly clean throughout. It really is a box full of potential. If you are the sort of person who perhaps you've got some knowledge of other paddle routines, pocket knife routines, even Craig's Sharpie idea that came out, then you will be able to run with this and have a lot of fun. I think it's just a bit of a shame he hasn't helped out everybody and really explored what this gimmick can do. Sharpie magic is right up every magician's street. We all carry them. This could really put a nice entertaining bit into the middle of your card routines. For example, that is Sharpen by Alain Vachron, £43.50.
This show is awful, terrible, disgusting. See you next week, of course.
And that brings us to the end of this week's show, I'm afraid. I do hope you have enjoyed it. I've opened Diget Spinner. I really, really want to keep it, and I really, really want to keep playing with it. But I think perhaps I should give it away in a competition. So please, if you could, in the comments below, leave what your party trick is, what your secret skill is. It could be anything from a dance that you can do, I don't know, touching your tongue and with your nose, no, touching your nose with your tongue rather. For me, I've got a strange little habit where I make a little naughty male figurine from the wire of champagne corks. I don't have much opportunity to do it, but whenever I see that, I am there. So please leave those in the comments and I will enter you into the Wok of Wonder, or the Saucepan of Sorcery, who knows, next week. But until then, until next week, come on, grab some magic, go out there and have some fun with the best hobby in the world. Bye-bye.